What's up, you guys? It's Brandi. Thank you for tuning in to my channel. Today I'm coming on to review a new beauty tool that has been hyped up on social media, on YouTube, everywhere. People have been talking about this beauty sponge and I've been wanting to get my hands on it, and I finally have. So I want to kind of do today's video as like a head-to-head challenge between the new beauty tool against what I use on an everyday basis, which is my Rihanna Fenty Beauty Sponge, and it's going to be going up against the Juno Co Microfiber Velvet Sponge, which is only $6. We're going to talk about, the shape of it. We're going to talk about how it feels, how it applies. We're pretty much going to get into everything and have rounds for this. But first, before we jump into today's video, as I always do, I want to welcome all of you guys who might be new here to my channel. You may have stumbled upon this video. Hopefully you will enjoy today's video and it will make you want to check out some more videos on my channel, and eventually click that little red subscribe button and join the family. Now for my OGs out there, welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump into today's video. Let's first just talk about the shape of these two products. Now, normally before I was in love with the beauty blender, that's all I used to apply my makeup and things like that. I just really liked it, and that retails for 20 bucks. It's been a while since I've even used that, since I fell in love with the Rihanna Fenty Beauty Sponge. This is only, I think, 16 bucks. So I was like, $4 saving? Sure, I'll give it a try. I've been using this in the past for like the past 2 months since I purchased it, and it is my favorite right now. I love the shape of it. It swells, of course, when you wet it. It's super easy to clean and all of that, and it just, I don't know, I can't say enough about it. The Juno Co Microfiber Velvet Sponge, it actually came in this little packaging right here, which I thought was neat. In the pack that I ended up getting off Amazon, I think I got about 4 of them in there, and it wasn't too expensive. The whole thing behind this is that it's supposed to make it where you can use less product, you can get more fuller coverage, and it's not soaking up all of your product in it. On the end of this, instead of it having like that rounded end point, it actually has it where it's flat, so you can pretty much sit it down on any surface and it will sit up. I do like the fact that it has the pointed tip, so it should make it really easy to like get up and through there and put powder under your eyes, blend out your concealer and all of that. Now, just based on the feel of this, it's a lot firmer than my Fenty Beauty Sponge, which kind of scares me a little bit because I like the cushiony feel, and I feel like it presses the product into my skin and bounces around a lot more to make it look more natural. In terms of just like the feel, I would say I like the design of the Fenty Beauty Sponge a lot more already than the Juno Co, but of course that is a personal preference. But for me, in terms of judging the rounds and things like that, I would say the Fenty Beauty Sponge actually wins for me just based on design alone. I'm going to wet both of these up so we can see just how they look when they get wet. So I have my paper towel here. So the first one I'm going to dip into my red Solo cup is the Fenty Beauty Sponge. So I'm going to submerge it and give it a little squeeze so we can see how big it gets. And it did get a little bit bigger. I'm going to squeeze all of that out. And then I'm going to dry it off like I normally would. And I don't feel like it swells as much. Like once you rinse it out, well, actually, I take that back. It is quite a bit bigger now that I've wet it up. And then we're going to put the Juno sponge in here and see if it wets up. Okay, it's soaking up the water for sure. This thing is getting massive. Look how big this thing is. So this is what it looks like after it has been dampened, which I feel like it did kind of double in size a little bit. So they definitely both did get a little bit bigger. I feel like the Juno sponge got quite a bit bigger, but getting it wet actually made it a little bit softer. So I am happy about that. Okay, so the foundation we're going to be using today is one of my favorites. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Plus Poreless. This always gives me a really flawless finish, and it always really does like cover up my pores and everything. I'm going to mix these two colors together. I will leave them in the description box below. Okay, so let's see, which side do I want to use? I guess I'm going to use the slanted side. Okay, already I feel like this is giving me really good coverage. Extremely good coverage. Yo. I'm already getting hyped right now. It completely covered up my acne scars I had right there. It doesn't seem like that much product is getting soaked into it. It's like it's sitting on top of the sponge, so that's a good thing. To me, I feel like blending this out, it is a bit like it's stiff. I don't have that bounce that I'm used to with my Fenty sponge at all. I'm like wanting to bounce, but I'm not really getting it. Now there is a little bit still peeking through right here for this acne scar, but everywhere else on this side is completely covered. So I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit here. And I feel like that took it to full coverage. It still gave me the same finish that I always get. It's nice and luminous. It's not too matte, but it's not super oily looking either. So, okay, not bad, not bad. Let's now go on the other side with my Fenty sponge and blend this out. So already, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but I'm definitely not getting as much coverage at all on this side with the Fenty sponge. It is soaking up quite a bit of product, like I already knew would be the case. So I'm definitely gonna have to build it up more on this side. So on this side, it's definitely giving a lot less coverage and looking a lot more natural, I'd say, or like skin-like. This is both sides blended out, and I've just added a little bit of extra coverage on the places where I feel like I needed it most. I'm not seeing a huge difference now that I've built the layer up on this side. It's about even, I'd say. In terms of the Juno sponge of application and the coverage amount, I would have to say between these two, the Juno sponge actually wins it in terms of coverage and not using as much product for sure. It really like packed it on for me. So if you're looking for more fuller coverage, I would say the Juno sponge would be better. I'm going to go on to applying concealer with these two products. I'm going to be using my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Warm Sand, and I'm also going to apply another one on top of this one just to give it a little bit more brightening effect. Okay, with the Juno sponge, I am getting max coverage. We already know that with the under eye, but it is a little bit hard to get right up there in the crease of my eye, even with the pointed tip, because I feel like it needs to be a little bit more pointed than it is. So it's a little bit difficult trying to get right up there, but the coverage is given. Okay, I'm here for it. So now I'm going to go in with the Fenty sponge on the other side. Okay, we're definitely not getting the same amount of coverage on this side underneath the eye. I feel like I need to add a light layer. It is a lot easier to get in between the crevices because this sponge is softer, but coverage amount, it's not really the same, even with letting it dry down a little bit. For some reason, I kind of feel like the Juno sponge isn't completely blending it out though either. Looks a little bit cakey on the Juno sponge side, like even up here on my forehead, it's not looking as blended. Yeah, definitely the Juno sponge for me, I feel like it's taking more effort to blend things out with it, which I don't like. Like I like just bouncing it and then we're done. Coverage is there with the Juno sponge, but I still feel like it's just not blending enough in terms of the under eye. Like that is a sensitive spot for me because I want it to be well blended and to not look like the product is just sitting there. And I feel like on the Juno side, I low-key want to go in with my Fenty sponge, but it's giving such good coverage though. So now we're going to go in with our setting powder. Today I'm going to be using the Xoxo Buttercup setting powder, and I'm going to set my under eye like I normally do with my Fenty sponge on one side, and then I'm going to use a dry Juno sponge on the other side. Make sure I get all of the creases out before going in, and I'm going to use the same slanted side. Oh, it picked up a lot of product. Gosh. It's just like how it's picking the product up is literally a lot of it. I feel like it's not blending it out with the dry sponge. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can save it. I feel like for my under eye area, because it's so dry, I have to have some type of moisture even with the powder that I use. For powders, I don't think this will be the best using it dry. I don't know. Let me try going on the underneath my contour, using some of it on this one. Okay, see, I feel like it works better with the dampened one in terms of applying powder. Yeah, see, that blended out nicely. That's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Okay, so this is what our skin is looking like with just foundation, concealer, and setting powder. I'm gonna do the rest of my face off camera, then come back on and let you guys see. And then we're gonna talk a little bit more about these two sponges, but let me let you get a nice little looky, because I'm still, you know, I have the little glow to it, which I love. It didn't take any of that away. So I'm gonna finish the rest, like I said, off camera and come right back. All right, you guys, so for the most part, my makeup is complete. I just wanted to give like my last thoughts about these two sponges and whether or not I would recommend the Juno sponge. I really do feel like in terms of my under eye area and also in terms of the coverage for the foundation, the Juno sponge definitely wins out. But if you are someone who likes softer sponges, you like more of a natural type of finish makeup, you don't want it to really look like full coverage makeup, then I would say you're not really gonna like the Juno sponge as much. I do like the fact that it's only $6 and it gives amazing coverage. So if you're wanting to save money and not having to go through foundation so much or concealer and stuff like that, then this would be a really good buy for you. I feel like I would probably use this on days that I do want full coverage and I feel like I'm not really gonna get that, or I'm gonna have to put a lot of layers on, because I didn't have to build it up that much on this side for me to get full coverage. I definitely feel like it's all about preference and what you're looking for ultimately at the end of the day. For me, I would say 9 times out of 10, I'm probably still gonna reach for my Fenty Beauty sponge or Precision sponge, whatever the real name of this is. But I feel like I'm gonna reach for this more than the Juno sponge. I do like the fact that I have this on hand to use, and it definitely wouldn't be a bad beauty tool to use. So definitely let me know you guys take on this new sponge here. If you tried it out, do you like it? Would you recommend it? And all of that, and what you loved about it. Let's chat away in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, as always, make sure you give it a thumbs up and show your girl some love and support. If you are not a subscriber and you still have not clicked subscribe yet, then go ahead and do that right now and join the family. If you like these types of videos, let me know some other head-to-head challenge items that you want me to, you know, compare in a video, because this is kind of fun trying both of these out and seeing what it was gonna look like and whatnot. So that is it. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.